blackscholarspublishing.com.
Step into our kingdom. It's the Three Bitter Kings podcast.
Bloody murder, murder, bloody murder, 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 murder.
Like that apply to us. It's a large profit margin on the long shots.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, very few people bet on the underdog. But if you would have, you would have won big. And that happened to be we bet on ourselves as underdogs. I sold my Rolex chain and my Alpinas and bought studio equipment. You know what I'm saying? And it was the best decision I made. I shut down my spot. I was hustling and I stopped hustling and went broke for a time and started getting treated different by girls because I wasn't balling as a teenager no more. And people start looking like I fell off, and I dealt with all that. But it was the best decision I made, and that was an example of me betting on the long shot, which was rap music, and myself, you know what I mean? And it's a large profit margin because I made so much more money off of buying that equipment than I would have if I just stayed in my bracket as a hustler. And it's legit money, and it's opening up doors to clothing and movies and all type of other things. So
the importance of setting up these little stores and developing them and expanding them into larger operations. Woolworth didn't start out big like they are today. They started out with a dime store and expanded and expanded and expanded until today they're all over the country and all over the world, and they're getting some of everybody's money. Now, this is what you and I in General Motors, the same way, didn't start out like it is. It started out just a little rat race type operation. And it expanded and expanded until today it's where it is right now. And you and I have to make a start.
I'm prolific, so gifted. I'm the type that's gon' go get it, no kidding. Breaking down a swish in front of your building. Sitting on the steps, feeling no feelings. Last night it was a cold killing. You gotta keep the devil in his hole, nigga. But you know how it go, nigga. I'm front line every time it's on, nigga. 100 pro flow, running shoot pro. 458 drop, playing bulletproof soul. Every few shows I just buy some new gold. Circle got smaller, everybody can't go. Downtown Diamond District, jewelers like yo. Hustle, holla at me, I got Cubans on the low. Through the Cancun, smoking Cubans on the boat. And dock that Tulum just to smoke. Look, listening to music at the Mayan ruins. True devotion on the bluest ocean. Cruising, my cultural influence, even revolution. I'm integrated vertically, y'all niggas blew it. They tell me hustle, dumb it down, you might confuse them. This ain't that weirdo rap you motherfuckers used to. I'm a urban legend, South Central in a certain section. Can't express how I curb the Texas. Guesses, evidence of a divine presence. Blessings, held me down at times I seem reckless. Effort, got an L but got an E for effort. Stretched it. Dropped him off in the Mojave Desert, then left him. Ain't no answer to these trick questions. Money making nip, straighten out my jewelry on my bench dresser. Well known, flick up in jail clothes, snatch a champagne bottle from Rico's till T-shows. Whatever, nigga, playing chess, not checkers, nigga. 38 special for you clever niggas. See, bro, you ain't living down by the street code. Been through all these motions up and down like a seesaw. I can never view you as my equal. Fuck, I wanna hear your CD fault.
We don't part
the Red Sea, but we walk through the hood without getting shot. You know what I mean? We don't turn water to wine, but we turn motherfucking dope fiends and dope heads into productive citizens into society. You know what I mean? We turn money. We turn words into money. You know what I mean? What greater gift can there be? So I believe God blesses us. I believe God blesses those that hustle, those that use their mind, and those that overall are righteous. I believe that your karma, everything that you do bad comes back to you. So anything that I'm doing that's bad, I'm going to have to suffer for. But in my heart, I think what I'm doing is right. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm going to heaven. You know what I mean? And I think heaven is just when you sleep with a good conscience. You don't have nightmares. And hell is when you sleep, the last thing you see is all the fucked up things you did in your life. And you just see it over and over again. Because you don't burn. Because if that's the case, it's hell on earth. Because bullets burn. You know what I mean? It's people that got burnt in fires. That means they went to hell already. You know what I mean? All that is here. So what else? What do you got there that we ain't seen here?
Welcome back to the Three Bearded Kings podcast. I'm your host, Leonard Andre Wilson Jr. Next to me, to the right of me,
you got William Bryan Weed, and to the right of me, you got
Tyler Alexander Hildreth. What's good, everybody? How y'all doing today?
Yo. This is a special edition episode, so the number of it doesn't even matter. This episode is dedicated to a great king, a wise thinker, a businessman, a father, a husband, an icon.
A legend.
A living legend. A legend. Before we, get into the nuances, I just want to hear Kings. Like, what's your thoughts on Nipsey's passing?
Is absolutely terrible. He was a great artist, but an artist was just a small percentage of what he meant to our culture, what he meant to us as Black people. And what he meant to Black Wall Street, like the dude was walking the talk, like literally what we preach about, pretty much on every episode he was doing. He was giving back to his community. He was employing people who were walking down the wrong path in life, and not to mention, the dude truly loved like everyone from what I saw, I don't see nothing negative about him whatsoever. So for us to lose something like that is a huge L for our culture. I honestly felt like I lost a personal friend of mine when I got the news that he died. So I mean, it's definitely terrible. Like my mood's been fucked up all week because of it. Well, I'm sorry, not all week, but for the last few days, it's been fucked up because of it. And it's going to take some time, man. It's going to take some time for us to just, come back from this.
Man, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just real messed up. The whole situation, and you've got all these conspiracy theories about it's the government and this, that, and the third. And, I mean, being the conspiracy theorist guy that I am, I don't believe any of that stuff. I believe it was literally, as they said, how some of his friends have stated everything went down. And right. I just think it's really sad that somebody would kill somebody over something so simple as a little disrespect because of them being a snitch. When you look at all the things he's done, all the people he's helped, I mean, I didn't really listen to Nipsey Hussle too much. For one, I don't really listen to the radio, and they don't even play him in Memphis anyway. Not that I can remember at least. But back in the day, I used to be really on West Coast music. I love Too Short. I love E40, the whole Bay Area, Oakland, all that. So I always listen to that type of music. And then, of course, Snoop got, and the LBC and all that good stuff. So it's just crazy that somebody could be taken away like that. And then with all the videos and stuff that's out and, like, how the guy just came up over him and, like, made sure he was dead, kicked him and all. I just feel like that's just awful to do somebody like that is, from the same block, like of all things, somebody that you knew would do you like that. But then they always say, it's usually not your enemies that get you, it's usually the people closest to you that touch you. So, I mean, he literally lived vicariously through everything that we preach, though. Like he was an entrepreneur. He went into real estate. He was building healthy food options there. He had built a clothing store. He wasn't even gonna be just a rapper. He was gonna be like the West Coast Jay-Z, basically. He was gonna be a mogul. That's what he was planning. That's what he was basically planning to be. He was planning to be a mogul and do big things and help out his entire area where he grew up at. He had a lot of people that he helped out, a lot of people that he gave jobs to that didn't have jobs, or no one believed in him, and he gave them a job and showed them, hey, I'm going to build this area up, and we're going to do this together. And you don't have that a lot of rappers, so it's just really sad to see somebody that's that great just die for something so senseless at such a young age too.
I'm going to piggyback on a lot of what both of you guys said, gentlemen, and thank you for that. I grew up on West Coast music too. Fucking Ice Cube. It's like one of my favorite rappers growing up. Too Short. That's all my uncle would play. He had a red Trans Am. And that's all he would play whenever he picked me up from school, wherever we was going to the mall or whatever. So I grew up, E40. Like, I grew up fucking loving, like, West Coast music. And even though, Pac was from New York, he was associated with the West once he signed with Death Row, and that Dr. Dre sound and that the synthesizer and the piano keys and that type of sound, and fucking DJ Quick, who young folks, the young generation doesn't even know anything about. Like, who the fuck is DJ Quick? One of the best producers ever. Like,
People don't know who DJ Quick is?
Ask an 18-year-old who the fuck is DJ Quick. Show them a picture of DJ Quick. They don't know who the hell DJ Quick is.
That's crazy. But keep going, man.
But yeah, man, and Snoop, like, who the fuck didn't listen to Snoop? He dropped a classic. And so I always felt like I was a part of the West Coast, even though I really ain't been out there like that. Like, I've never been to LA or anything like that. I want to go. I plan on going one day. And so my discovery of Nipsey came from interviews. I knew he was a rapper. He reminded me of a younger version of Snoop, because he kind of looked like Snoop, like he favored Snoop, especially before he grew the beard. Yeah. Before he grew the beard, he had the baby face. And so I was like, who's this little nigga that look like Snoop? And he was just so smooth with it. And I heard him rap, and I was like, he can actually spit. And every project that he released, he continued to get better. He continued to progress. Like, he was a master of his craft. And we talked about Nipsey's album, Victory Lap, on this very show. It was one of the fucking best albums. Like, the shit was crazy. We've played his music before on this show. And, to see his maturation from Crenshaw, or even before that, fucking Marathon, to Crenshaw, to Mailbox Money, all the way up to Slauson Boy 2 and Victory Lap. Like, I listened to all of those projects. And Victory Lap, by far, in my opinion, is his best album, because he was at a point, he was at an apex in his perspective where everything was clear. If you ever seen the movie Limitless, Bradley Cooper's character, Edward Mora, he took the NZT, he's figuring out how to use it. He's eating the right things. He's exercising. He finally gets his book done. He's back on his shit. He's dating these beautiful women. He gets a haircut. He's exercising. And he goes on some trip. They whipping a Ferrari or something super expensive. This motherfucker get out, jump off of a cliff into the water, and then that voice comes, that voiceover comes of him thinking aloud. And he's like, suddenly everything was clear. Like, I get it. Like, I know what I want. I know how to get it. I got a master plan. I have a fucking purpose. Nipsey Hussle had a purpose. And one of his major purposes was helping others, enhancing the lives of others. And so, like y'all said, that Black Wall Street shit we talk, he was actually doing it for his hometown.
What about Vector 90? Vector 90. What is that? Because that has to do with a STEM project for the kids in Crenshaw, right?
That's one level of it. Yeah. It opened up February 15th. It's a collaborative effort between a real estate developer and entrepreneur in LA named David Gross and myself. And it's a 5,000 square foot compound. The top level is an inner city co-work incubator. So what that means is like 10 offices, you know what I mean, that people from the community, entrepreneurs, they got businesses.
They can come and use office space.
They can rent the office
That's
space.
dope.
Yeah, and then you know, it's like modeled after WeWork, but it's based in the community. WeWorks is all over the place, but they not in the inner city. You know what I mean?
In the inner city.
And so this is right around the corner from my store. This is in the heart of our community, and it's fully renovated, upscale. You know, marble floors, tabletops, glass installations. It looked like some, you know, very, very next level quality. And you know, that's the top level. And it's also an incubator, which means that these entrepreneurs every year we're gonna fund one of their companies.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you pick one of the people in the building.
They make a pitch, kind of like Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Every 12 months, we say what you working on, and they come make a pitch, and one of them we gonna fund and do their round A of investment. And then the bottom level, thank you. Bottom level is the STEM center that you was talking about: science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's you know, it's for young kids to bridge the gap between the inner city and Silicon Valley.
Tyler's not from Memphis. I'm not from fucking Memphis. Will, you're from Memphis. But we're still putting together the pieces so we can make it happen. He went back to his hometown, a dangerous part of LA. And
very dangerous, yeah.
Very dangerous. And he walked around that motherfucker, no security. Now, we're not gonna front. Nipsey was heavy in the gang shit. He wasn't active anymore like that, but he was the face of the Rolling 60s. Like, that shit is documented. And he doesn't shy away from it in interviews, but, you know, he also doesn't dwell on it too much. But he's the big homie. You know, everybody got a big homie. Nipsey, at the age of 33, he was the big homie. So nothing got done unless he said it got done. And with such a positive energy and taking the gang, you know, that's really what, and Tyler, I think you said this before on the show, a gang was actually created as like a business, like an organization. Like, it wasn't on some let's kill everybody, beat each other up, steal this, rob them from old ladies. Nah. It was like a subculture within the culture of almost like street justice, or what they call street politics. And what he was doing with his gang, what he was doing with his community was, like I said, putting people to work. He had a clothing store. He did pop-ups pretty much all the way to New York. He was doing pop-ups of his Marathon clothing line. Will, we was talking about this the other day. What was that album? The Marathon. He sold that for $100. It was a mixtape. He sold it for.
It was Crenshaw, actually. I looked it up.
Crenshaw was $100.
Yeah. That was the one that Jay-Z bought. He bought like 100 of them, I want to say.
Okay, which one was 1,000 then?
That one must have been.
So Crenshaw came out. Was that Mailbox Money?
I'm not sure. I didn't see which one was 1,000. I did see that Crenshaw was the one he sold for $100 though.
Okay, well, Crenshaw came out in 2013, so we're gonna make an inference and say that Mailbox Money, which came out in 2014, that was the one for 1,000. And actually, that would make a little bit more sense to me because he's got Rick Ross on that album, Mailbox Money, and you know Ross was trying to sign him to MMG for a long time. He was trying to sign him hard. But we lost more than an MC. We lost more than a recording artist. We lost more than a touring artist. We lost more than a celebrity. Like, when somebody calls Nipsey a celebrity, and people have been calling him that the past couple of days, I'm gonna be honest, I get fucking offended. He wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't just your typical rapper. He was so much more than just... He was doing so much. He was taking his money, his profit, his revenue, his earnings, and he was reinvesting back in his people. He was not only, you know, talking about doing these things, he was actually doing them. And to be honest with you, he did a lot of shit, and we found out about it later.
Even when we did the grand opening, all the artwork on the walls were facts about technology and about these companies and how the demographics are in Facebook and Google and Twitter. And it's like the highest one has 8% African American people. You know, and that's, I think, Facebook. Every other company
1-2%.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? And this is majority of, like you said, the jobs are gonna, in the future, even right now, the
It's happening
opportunity,
right
but
now, yeah.
it's gonna get more and more intense. So, you know, the goal is to create a bridge between the inner cities and Silicon Valley. And especially, it's important in LA because that's an hour away. You know, that's an hour flight, Silicon Valley from Los Angeles, and there's minimal representation.
You know, like the thing that he was doing for kids in LA, for kids in this neighborhood, as far as the STEM training and learning, like
teaching them how to code.
Yeah, teaching young black boys and young black girls how to fucking code and program. Like he got it. Nipsey was one of the first artists, rappers, to invest in cryptocurrency at a high level. Like he made a shitload of money off of cryptocurrency. And if you look at some of his interviews, he details that. I think he actually got that recommendation from Mark Echo. You know, Mark Echo owns, well, you know, he had the clothing line, but doesn't Echo own Complex, if I'm not mistaken?
He owns something else. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he owns Complex, so he has something to do with Complex. And
I believe that's true.
Yeah,
I think Complex is true. Yeah.
So he takes it back. Like I remember watching Gary Vaynerchuk. If you're business minded or looking for some type of inspiration, Gary Vaynerchuk, between his books and his YouTube channels and podcasts, like he had fucking Nipsey Hussle on there, and they were talking cryptocurrency and they were talking marketing. You know, I was just watching Nipsey's last interview he had with the Breakfast Club last year. And he was, and Angela Yee was like, I love how your mind works. Like, I love the marketing plan that you came up with. Like, this guy was a fucking genius. He was a genius. He didn't fit the stereotypes of, you know, and maybe for some people,
a game banker.
Yeah, he didn't fit those stereotypes because everything he doing was positive. Everything he was doing was about enhancing the lives of other. He was challenging the status quo. And so, you know, Sunday, did you guys hear it first from me? Did I break the news for y'all?
Yeah.
Yes.
You said that. I was like, then I started like paying it. I plugged into Twitter and I was like, what's going on? And I was like, you know, I like I said, I wasn't even a big fan of Nipsey, but then I was like, as you start, you know, searching his name in Twitter and getting updates, and then you start seeing all these positive videos, and then you start hearing all the news coming out and the video, like, you know, you get the video of him on laying in the pavement, and you start seeing all these different things. You're just like, man, and then like all the positivity. That's like. That was crazy. When you said that, I was like, what? I was like, he got shot. I was like, oh, well, he'll be all right. You know, every time we hear about somebody getting shot, they get shot like once, and then, you know, they're in the hospital, and then everything, you know, young Dolph got shot. He got shot once, and he cool, you know, whatever. But I was not expecting to see or hear this terrible news.
It was so fucking random. Like, it was so random. It was on a Sunday. I was just spending time with my kids, and I look on Twitter, and I felt like when I caught it, I was super late. I think I was super late. Now, I know California is an hour before our time. We're in the Central Time.
It's 2 hours.
Oh, it's 2 hours? Oh, well, then that makes sense, because I text Charlotte about 6:30, right?
The shooting.
Actually, you know what? You were not late. You were not late on it.
Actually, you were kind of spot on because the shooting.
You were probably 20, 30 minutes after it happened. Like, not even gonna lie, because once I started seeing tweets, the mentions for his name just exploded probably about 30 minutes after you told us.
Yeah, it got crazy. It got crazy. Okay, so I was like 20, 30 minutes late. And I felt bad. I felt bad being that late, to be honest with you. I'm like, what? It was just so unexpected. What were you gonna say, Will?
And that's the thing. I was not expecting to hear. And him of all people, he's not. You never hear about him beefing with anybody or anything like that. You know, of all the rappers, I would have never thought.
It wouldn't be him.
On a Sunday, it's that. Like, stuff like that doesn't happen on a Sunday. That's supposed to be a day of rest. So, but like I said, I did so much research, and when you look at him from 10 years ago when he first got started, when he was touring with the game. Well, I guess it's been over 10 years now, but when he was touring with the game, you start looking at some of his interviews, and he's like, "Yeah, I could buy a chain, I could buy a gold chain, but I'd rather invest. I'd rather buy real estate. I want to buy real estate. I can invest my money in." He said, I can buy cars and chains and all that's cool, but that's a depreciating asset. I want something that's appreciating. I want to buy real estate." And you're like, for a gang band to be talking like that, you don't see that very often. So right then, I knew his music is great, but he also has just such a positivity coming from him, and you could just hear it in his voice and all the plans. And he actually I'm not sure if you guys heard it, but he actually goes into. I saw an interview with. He was talking about how he actually came up with his store.
Mm-hmm.
And how he decided to change the block, and he was at a Lakers game. Have you guys heard about this?
I haven't.
So okay,
I watched a documentary about how the store started. Yeah.
Right. So he was at a Lakers game. I can't remember the guy who he met, but he said he was sitting there in the first quarter, and he said there's the guy next to him. He said he saw him looking at him, but he never spoke. He said then they got a few drinks in him, and he said he started talking, and the guy said, "Hey, I know who you are. You're Nipsey, right?" And he was like, "Yeah. What's going on?" So he talked to him. He's like, "Hey, I got a real estate plan that I'd like to run by you." And he's like, and that's basically how it started, and that's how he came up with his store, the Marathon store, and that's how he came up with the restaurant that's supposed to be a healthy option, because he was talking about how there's no healthy options. He wanted to fight against fast food. So they have like a bunch of all new equipment they put in there, and then he had people, and he was hiring people that didn't have people in the neighborhood. He wasn't going out and hiring outside of LA or outside of that district. He was hiring people he was hiring convicted felons off the streets that didn't have people that didn't believe in them. He would hire those kind of people, and they're forever grateful and gracious for that kind of energy that he just positivity. And then just seeing that and all he was doing, and then there's another documentary of him taking a guy that he hired to basically be like a janitor outside, and taking him and getting his hair cut and taking him to a nice dinner. Guy gets lobster tails and takes him out, and they're eating and I think it takes to a club. It's like a 4-part mini series. It's like about 40 minutes long, but there's just so many different things I didn't even know he was doing that nobody really talked about. And I think what he was doing is exactly what we need for these people that are in gangs, in order to get the young generation outside, think outside the box of gangs. That's the kind of thought process you need to have. That's how you own the block. You want to own the block for real, and not just sit up there and stand out there and say you own the block. You want to own the block for real, money wise and property wise. That's how you own the block. You purchase it, you build it up, you hire people, and then you make it a really good vibe, and everybody can live and eat off each other. And that's how you do it. That's how a gang should be ran.
Bro, let me add to this. So one of the things that stuck out to me about Nipsey, because you said hire people, and even just you explaining how the store started, just a random dude start talking to him. Nipsey is one of the few individuals I know, especially, I hate this word, fucking celebrities, that is extremely open-minded and will actually listen to other people. And so, one of the first things that really put Nipsey on the map, I believe, besides that $100 mixtape, is when he linked up with Karen Civil. And actually, Karen Civil is actually a part of that store.
Really?
Yeah, and they actually have a I don't know if it's a PR marketing agency, but it's called the Marathon Agency. And Karen Civil is a part of that, and it's like one or two other people that are involved with that as well. But from the real estate to the marketing agency to everything he's done in his career to the store, all of his ventures to the cryptocurrency, the people around him. I remember the interview he had with Gary Vaynerchuk. He specifically said, Gary Vaynerchuk was pointing at people and what does this guy do? And what's this guy doing? What does this guy do? And everybody around him had more than one role. And some of them were like, yo, and I'm also trying to learn how to, work these cameras, or I'm also learning how to edit videos, or I'm also learning how to, mix and master. I'm also learning. So everyone was multifaceted. And
see, that's the thing. They might have had a simple job or two,
but they
but they
developed.
also had an advancement.
They developed. They grew.
Mm-hmm.
They got
Exactly. He's
professional
developing,
development.
And they all work well
everybody
together.
that works underneath him. He's developing them, and then they can pass that knowledge, and that's how you get that hood mentality out of people, man.
Right.
That's exactly what you do.
So, again, when we think about the philosophy of Black Wall Street and keeping that black dollar in your community, like, he really exemplified that to the fullest. Like, the people around him, the people he grew up with, felons, people who couldn't get jobs, just came home.
Yeah,
like,
he was employing them. And,
he was not only employing
yeah.
them, he was letting them live out their dreams.
Yeah.
Like, he was allowing them, like, there was no, a lot of rappers have entourages. There was nobody around him that was just like an entourage.
Just
like,
there.
everyone has a role,
Yeah.
everyone has a career, everyone has a set of skills, and like the books that he would read, like Nipsey would constantly talking about, and I'm looking at it right now, Think and Grow Rich. He read The Wealthiest Barber. He read fucking Zig Ziglar books. Like, he was like really in tune with his third eye, if that makes sense. Like,
right.
Like, he had a level of spirituality or a level of divinity that even in an interview you get a glimpse of it, and you wanted him to talk more. Like, you wanted to hear more. I've seen people online, Twitter and Instagram, who have taken notes from his interviews. Like, it was a guy, he had a whole binder of notes he took from Nipsey interviews. And I was just sitting back just like in shock, like, damn. Like, we really have no idea. And it's going to be a while before we actually realize what we lost. And I'll admit, Sunday, I cried like several times. I prayed, I cried, I prayed. And
I did too on the when I was because I was on the way home from work when you sent the screenshot of him announcing that he was dead. And man, like on the ride home, man, I just started tearing up. I'm like, dang, because it hit me because we finally had someone who was doing what we've been preaching, what we've been trying to get people to do for so long. And as soon as we get someone who's doing it right, who's guiding all these people, you take them away, man. That's a hard loss. It's no telling how many years it's going to take for someone else to do what he was doing that way.
He's literally the one rapper that actually goes back to where he grew up at and actually builds something and helps the entire community. So, I mean,
right.
Who else is doing stuff like that? I mean, there's other rappers that do a few things here and there, but who's building up their community like that? Who's helping kids to be able to prepare for STEM?
Yeah, who's doing it to that level that he was doing it to?
And in the store every day and working.
So hands-on. Like, so
exactly.
hands-on. You can see him in his store working. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, he would be there like almost every day.
I think he had a studio in the back. In the back.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And people don't get this twisted. It wasn't just a store. Like, it was like epic center. Like, it was a place for everyone to come to, and he owned more than that. Like, he was buying more real estate. He was buying blocks. And
he owned that entire the area where he shot at. He owned that entire area.
All of that. That's all him. That's all him. So I feel bad because what he was doing musically, he was reaching a level of greatness that we only got a glimpse of.
Right.
Personally, socially, he was reaching a level that we only got a glimpse of. And so, let me say this, guys. Shout out to Nick Cannon, who has come out publicly and said he's going to continue the documentary on Dr. Sebi.
Yes, Sebi.
Right.
Yep.
He's going to continue that documentary and publish it to the world. So we got to protect and support Nick Cannon. We got to support this documentary. I don't care if it goes straight to video. I don't care if it's in the theater and it's a limited theater. Like, we've got to support this because this was a part of Nipsey's purpose. This was a part of Nipsey's dream. And for Nick Cannon to step up. And, you know, Will, I said that, right? Didn't I say that the other day? I said, who's going to continue all of the great shit that Nipsey was doing? Who's going to take that torch and continue to progress forward? Who's going to continue to do that? And so Nick Cannon stepped up. He stepped up. And that's another thing. Who the fuck knew that Nipsey Hussle and Nick Cannon was close? Who knew they had a relationship?
I have a question. Does anybody know if James Harden had something to do with that documentary? Because James Harden posted a picture of him and Nipsey basically mourning his death.
Him and Nipsey were tight.
You're right, yeah. And in the caption, he said, I promise you that I'm gonna continue to work on, what we were working on, basically.
It's no telling. It might not be the documentary. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, that's just what type of businessman and entrepreneur and thinker and just marching to the beat of his own drum that Nipsey was.
Right.
So it's no telling what he was working with James Harden. But I'm glad to hear that James Harden's going to continue doing whatever they were working on. But, you know, we all have this life. We get one life. We get one try at it. And, we hope to build a legacy. Of course, while you're on earth, you want to eat good, you want to live good, you want to be in a nice house, you want to drive something nice, you want to be able to visit some nice places, you want to, hopefully fall in love, you want to be able to do those things. But even deeper than that, how are they going to remember your name? Are they going to remember your name? And we will forever remember Nipsey's name.
Absolutely.
Me personally, I definitely will. And maybe because, when we talked about this, Will, we were so much younger when Pac died, and Biggie died, specifically Pac, that this is more. Like, this is our Pac. And not to say that Nipsey musically or celebrity-wise was at the same level of Pac, but for what he was doing in the community, like Tyler just said, nobody is doing that. Rick Ross does a lot,
right,
business-wise. The other Tech Nine that's still living, he does a lot business-wise. There's a lot. Jay-Z, there are a lot of MCs that are about their business and that do great business. Mm-hmm. But what Nipsey was doing, nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing that.
As he was, man.
Nobody.
Yeah. We didn't even get into the fact that he had a meeting scheduled with the LAPD.
Yeah.
Yo, did y'all see the press conference of the chief of the LAPD? I think it was today.
It's like he knew him personally.
Right. Yeah.
The way he was speaking, he was like, I look at the paper and I look up, I look back at the paper and I'm like, Nipsey Hussle. What? He's like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Right. Because he didn't have that type of energy. He wasn't on some, I'm in a gang, I'm going to kill you. He wasn't on that. Even if you listen to his music, even his older music when he was younger, and he probably was still more active and still doing some stuff, he wasn't really shoot him up, kill everybody type of MC.
Nah, he was never that.
His lyricism was poetic and it had a street approach to it. But his perspective was more about atonement.
Elevating.
It was atonement, and inspiration, but atonement for the sins he committed in his past. Not that I'm going to do something else
that you quote unquote shouldn't have done, or the trouble you got into. Yeah. Would you have changed that?
There's things I would change, and the things I would change is the things that affected other people in a negative way. I don't feel like it's worth it. You know what I mean? To hurt people, or to your actions to be so driven by ambition that they rub other people the wrong way. I would change those things. Anything else? Nah, that's the testimony.
That's you.
That's what gave me my understanding, was that I can reflect in them moments of being confused.
Or I'm out here killing. He didn't portray himself like that, especially with that last album. We already called that last album give it some time, but this is probably gonna be a classic. And almost certainly with his death, this is going to be labeled, Victory Lap is going to be labeled a classic. The seeds that he's planted, I pray, will continue to grow through other people.
I really hope so.
But I just wish that this never happened to him. Not him.
Like,
Not him.
right.
I
Do
won't
you
say
realize
anybody
what-
but him, but not him. Definitely not him.
Right. Do you realize what type of human being you have to be to have respect from all gangs?
He
and
brought
the
them
LAPD,
together. He brought
not-
them together.
Right, yeah. To be respected by all gangs, the LAPD, and not be a sucker.
Do you know how tight?
Like
do you know how tight he was with YG, and YG's on the opposite side?
Exactly. What in game too.
Exactly.
And
He opened for game.
Yeah.
He used to open for
Yeah,
game.
he did. And to go back to what you talked about the other day, Leonard, Nipsey was the reason why it had been so peaceful in LA when it came to gang shit.
Right. Like,
he was. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and we talked about this. We were both praying that this wasn't another gang that did something like this, because and a lot of people said that really are in the gang culture. Because I won't pretend that I'm really in the gang culture. I have an understanding of it to an extent, but I ain't lived it.
Right.
I'm looking at it from
me neither.
a academic perspective, and so we were saying we hope that it wasn't another side. And it would almost be impossible for another side to come against him because of his status. Like, you just can't kill somebody like Nipsey, who's the head of this powerful gang. And he was indeed the head. He was the big homie once again. So for someone to shoot him and to walk up on him and shoot him multiple times on foot, and like Tyler said earlier, and kick him to make sure he was dead, like. Nobody's giving that green light.
And
Nobody's
that's
giving
the
that
first
green
thing I
light.
thought of when everybody had all these conspiracies about all it was gang related. I was like,
bro, let's talk about that.
What OG from any other gang is giving a green light to kill Nipsey Hussle, bro?
Nobody. Bro,
and
let's
if
talk
they did,
about that.
why would they have killed? What's the green light for now? He hasn't done anything.
Right, he's not even active in the gangs anymore. So let's talk about that. So let me pull this up because I got the picture, and I definitely posted it. And when I posted it, I felt a chill, just being honest, because it was so cryptic. So at 4:52 p.m. Sunday, Nipsey tweeted, "Having strong enemies is a blessing." And my confusion with that is, with everything that has come out about this snitch, this what's his name, Shitty. That's a street name, Shitty.
First off, what the fuck kind of street name is that?
So
the name you give a snitch.
I heard a story about how he got that name, but I don't know how credible it is. I don't even really want to even repeat it.
Oh, you don't have to then. But what's his real name, guys?
Eric Rowe.
Eric Holder.
Eric Holder. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and Eric Holder allegedly was a Crip.
Rolling 60s.
Yeah, he's another Rolling 60, yeah.
But once you get that snitch label on you, you're kind of a social pariah, right? So the fact that, he came around Nipsey and, came to his store, Nipsey like, yo, you gotta go. So that's where all of this escalated from. But do we really think Nipsey tweeted this about Eric Holder?
No, I believe it was about something else, or him just maybe like possibly I won't even say inspirational tweet, but I don't think that was about him.
So
I don't know.
Who was it about then?
That we'll never know.
Having strong enemies is a blessing, and and I sent you guys the video of his friend on the radio interview or whatever, and he was saying everything that happened, and dude just escalated and took it to a whole nother level that it didn't have to be for somebody so powerful, for somebody very, very powerful. I feel like Nipsey got taken out way too easily.
Yeah,
and Nipsey has detailed. getting shot at, and his friends getting shot, and he driving his friends to the hospital, and
Yeah, on Blue Laces too, how you detailed that.
yeah. But I mean, like in
Yeah.
interviews, like he's actually detailed that story, those
Oh,
stories.
right, yeah, right.
And I mean, his own mixtapes, Bullets Ain't Got No Name. Very true. But when a guy walks right next to you and shoots you 6 times.
Right.
Did y'all see the video?
No, I refuse to watch it.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to look at it. Like I saw where someone posted it, but I did not want to look at it.
Yeah, I've been.
I didn't even know what I was looking at first. There's 2 different ones. There's one that's from there's actually more than 2, but they haven't been released. And I don't know if they'll be released. They're going to be from the store cameras that are actually right on the property. I don't know if they're going to release those or not, but hopefully they don't. Hopefully they just kind of let that go. But the one you can see him walk up from the side of the street, and then you can see him like confront Nipsey. So he first got shot. He got shot. The first shot hit him in the head.
Wow.
And you can see him fall down, like almost kind of like face first, and he kind of like turns over and kind of looks up, like he's kind of like what happened. And then the guy comes over him and then like shoots him, I think like 2 or 3 more times. And then he kind of like acts like he's about to like run away. Then he comes over and shoots him 2 more times, and then he kicks him and then runs off. But apparently while he was doing all that, he'd actually shot the 2 other people. And you can see one of the guys kind of like is like stumbling and bumbling. But there's other people there. There's at least 3 or 4 other people that I can see running. There's more than that. Because I only watched I watched it twice, and I can't watch it anymore. And the first time I saw it, I didn't know what I was looking at. And then someone like detailed what it was going on. And it's just like, yeah, I agree with what Leonard said. He got killed way too easily. And but at the same time, of course it's going to be easy because he's not thinking, hey, I'm in my own hood, my gang is this is our territory. Who's going to ride through territory and come and kill me? And the other thing is, he's at his store of all places. Why do I need protection at my store that everybody knows where I'm at all the time?
Well, let me say this much because someone brought this to my attention. Was that Roy that asked me about why wasn't he strapped?
That was me.
Oh, okay. So this is the reason why, and I know this because, again, I watch all of his interviews. I don't care if it's at some rinky-dink radio station I've never heard of in my life, or it's all the way up to Hot 97 or Breakfast Club. Like, I'm watching everything that he releases because his mind, the content is just so valuable. He drops so many gems, and I need all of them. And he detailed that the cops in LAPD, because they're so used to him being in shit, over these years growing up. And to this day, they were still like, they'll just come to the store and they'll just like do a raid for no reason.
They were raided, yeah.
Yeah, just raided for no reason. And he like, every time he just look at him and smile like, dude, I'm clean. My money is all legal. You're not going to find anything in here. So with that, knowing that they're always going to be coming in there and you don't know exactly when they're going to come in there, plus a lot of the people, as we've already said, that he has hired are ex-felons and known gang members, it doesn't make logical sense because legally, they can't own a firearm, not legally. So there's no way he's going to put them at risk and get them thrown back in jail, and ruin their livelihoods to have a gun. Now, we could make an argument and say Nipsey could have had, some type of, off-duty officers as security or something like that. But coming where Nipsey come from, he don't really fuck with cops like that.
Right.
He don't really fuck with cops like that. So, and like Tyler said, he's at his store. He's been there for years. And, that's the thing. Like, I do this all of the time. I'm always here. I'm always accessible. And I don't carry that type of energy that would make somebody hate me, that would make somebody, even when his friend detailed what happened with the Eric Holder dude, he said Nipsey wasn't even disrespectful. He was just like, dude, you can't be around here. You a snitch. You got to go, man.
Right.
And have we ever, we don't know him personally, but have we ever heard Nipsey yell Have you ever heard him yell?
We seen him slap somebody.
But he was smooth. He was smooth when he slapped.
It was smooth as
That
fuck.
was the smoothest slap in the world.
And the only reason he slapped him is because dude was being mad disrespectful.
He was being
disrespectful.
So he handled it like a man. Nipsey Hussle was a fucking king. We lost the king. We didn't lose no nigga. We didn't lose a stereotypical rapper.
Right.
We didn't lose a nigga with 15 baby mamas and he out just selling dope and crack to kids. He wasn't no pedophile. He was none of this shit. He was a great man. He was a king. And we lost him to a fucking punk. I hate the fact that this nigga got caught by the cops. I hate that he got caught by the cops.
I guess something that I read earlier.
Talk to us.
Six of Eric Holder's family members have been killed since Sunday.
Super facts.
God, what? God damn.
Yes. While he was on the run, it was a report that the Rolling 60s have killed 6 of his family members since Sunday.
Should have been. No, let me be quiet.
And when he got arrested, he got arrested earlier today. And they arrested him at a mental health place that he pulled up to.
Right. I believe that's where he was at previously. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, really? Well, before he went out and killed Nipsey?
Yeah, because they said he was out in and out of one over the past few weeks or months or whatever.
Right.
So I believe that's the one that he was at, and I believe he probably called a counselor or a psychiatrist or whoever there. I bet you that's what happened. He reached out to a psychiatrist and said, "Hey, I'm coming up there."
I'm gonna be honest. I'm very surprised that he's still alive right now.
Well, once he got up there and came, like the police got him. I mean, you got to think about it. He had nowhere to run. Like Nipsey, commanded respect everywhere.
Right.
What idiot would take him in at that point? I didn't hear about he had 6 family members killed. I heard his mom's house got shot up. I heard his girl's house got shot up. And I heard that I did hear they confirmed that two of his family members have been killed. I didn't hear 6, but that is insane.
I heard 6 family members have been killed. Now, I mean, it may not exactly be true, but that's what I heard. That 6 family members.
I heard 2 earlier. 2 had been shot and killed. Not today, but yesterday, I believe. So I wouldn't. You know what? At that point, I honestly wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
He literally got his whole entire family. They're about to take out his whole family tree.
Yeah, he put all of them in danger for doing some stupid shit like what he did Sunday.
I just
don't get it. What makes you come up and shoot somebody like that, and then
and somebody who means so much to your community, okay, yeah, you're mentally ill, but why would you kill someone that means so much to your community? Man, dude, it's
and supposedly, from what I heard, he's actually killed before. That's not the first person.
Yeah. I heard that too, and he was a known snitch. Basically why Nipsey told him to leave. But yeah, he was a known informant and snitch, and he's definitely killed people before.
But who kills somebody that's actually helping other people just because they told you they don't want you around their spot?
And did it in a respectful way. He wasn't confrontational or nothing about it. He did it in a respectful way.
That's what I'm saying. If you watch the video, you see him. He sees him walk up, but he doesn't. I feel like he had that look like you can't really see him. You can't see because the video's kind of choppy, but just from his body language, just from the graininess that you can see, it looks like he's kind of man. I thought he looks like he has that distinguishing look, like what are you doing here? Or I just told you to leave. What are you doing back? And then that's when dude just starts popping, and it's what in the world? And it's why couldn't somebody had a gun? I think he would have survived that headshot. That first shot, I think he would have survived. I think those other shots really just did him in.
Really what did it, yeah.
I think because he looked after he got shot, he moved like he was okay. He would have been okay, and the police and ambulance were there pretty quickly. So I mean, I don't know. It's just really sad to see somebody go out like that. That's just
that means so
literally
much.
Everybody has said something about him. All kinds of people. Everybody.
All positive
all his interviews,
stuff too.
All the positive interviews I've seen. I'm just man, even back when he was banging. And he was just getting on. He still was talking about, man. I believe, like from what I see, it looks like he did a lot of his banging back when he was like a teenager, all the bad stuff, and as he got older into his like early 20s and whatnot, he started being like, man, I'm this ain't it. Like I didn't know any better when I was younger. Now I know better. Now I can teach the rest of the youth how you're supposed to act, what you're supposed to do, that kind of stuff. So
right.
I don't know.
All
It's
right.
just sad.
Two last things. I'm going to repeat again his last tweet. Having strong enemies is a blessing. And with me saying that, I'm telling you, Eric Holder, this wasn't just an isolated incident. I'm not buying into all of the conspiracies that because Nipsey was making his documentary, the government hired him. I'm saying there's something bigger that maybe will never be revealed, or it's going to take a while before it finally gets revealed. Or when it finally gets revealed, it might be revealed in a way that we just overlook it. But I feel like there's something bigger at play against Nipsey for him to tweet that and that be his final tweet, such a morbid tweet before he gets
Right.
killed in cold blood. Let me quote Joe Budden. Still can't find the words. A true king in every sense of the word, clearing his vision from day one. What's telling isn't the outpouring of the respect that we all only dream of leaving with, but the pictures being posted, most of them personal interactions he had with each of us in different parts of the world, not just stock photos. He was of the people, and that's why this hurts the way it does. He was us. An example of what it looked like when done correctly. I pray for your family, fans, and loved ones in their time of mourning. Long live your legacy, King. I'm honored to have known you, and thank you for the inspiration. We lost a great man and mind. I can't say it better myself.
Right.
Stupidity, man. Jealousy, envy.
Man.
Like I said, I don't understand why you would have that kind of hate in your heart for somebody because it's something you disagree with. That's way overstepping the line. What can you do, man? What can you do?
This
This is a huge L for just us as a everything. Like we took a huge L.
I was gonna say, please stop saying it's a conspiracy. This is not one of those conspiracies. This is pretty kind of open and shut case. Everybody's talking about, oh man, the government. He was a snitch. The government hired him to kill Nipsey because they let him out early. And I'm like, what sense does that make? That man, like half now that you're telling me this, half that man's family tree is gone. They're shooting at his mama, brothers, sisters, cousins, auntie, girlfriend's mom, like everybody.
Right.
They're not playing. They weren't playing with any of that. And you see how quick they retaliate. If the 6 people is true, they've killed. That's an average of 3 people a day since it's happened.
Could be more
since
than
they
that.
found out who it was. And literally, that's like 5 or 6 people within 24 hours because we just found out who he was yesterday.
Right. I'm afraid. The streets probably knew the moment that it happened. I'm sure. I'm afraid of what this is going to do as far as the peace in LA in LA gangs. Now that Nipsey basically was a person that brought everyone together. Now that he's gone, if somebody does not step in, and fill their hole, like LA might be back to how it was, a few years back when the shit was crazy. LA might be looking like fucking Chicago again.
Who's gonna step up that people recognize and that from the street side and publicly? Who's gonna step up that can merge and blend and be liaison between Bloods and Crips, between rivaling gangs? Who's that person that put in that work?
Some of these OGs gonna have to step in.
I'm telling you, he was the OG. He was the big homie. It was him. Right. He was the big homie. At 33, he was the big homie. That's why I knew in my head, I was like, it can't be a rival gang. Nobody would get that green light. Nobody would ever get that green light.
Matter of fact, that's how you end up dead. for even asking something like that.
Yeah, if you ask for that green light, you dead. Your own side is killing you for you even thinking about doing
Right.
something like that. And it happened over nothing, over words. That's why I'm saying Nipsey's last tweet. Nipsey was an intellectual. He was insightful. He was spiritual. I'm telling you, whether that was a gut feeling or it was something real, he knew something was about to happen. And it wasn't dude. It wasn't dude.
Another thing that I read was that Nipsey started getting like extra security a few days before he got killed.
So where were they? Where were they then?
He was at some video shoot. Because I read this earlier.
I read that too. It was with
I think it was at their video with John Legend.
Yeah.
That, yeah. So yeah, he was at a video shoot, and apparently he requested like more security. Like I want to say the report said that it was actual like police officers there.
Yeah, they're trying to shut a block down to record it, so nobody can see it. And they couldn't shut the whole block down, so they had extra security.
But yeah, he knew like kind of like what you said, Leonard. He knew something was going to happen, but my question is, what was it? Because I don't necessarily believe it was this Eric Holden nigga or Shitty or whatever he calls himself.
He didn't call himself that. That's what he was called. That's what he was called after he got out of prison for a specific reason. But
oh Lord,
yeah,
never. Oh Lord.
I feel bad for that dude because he did like the most dumbest shit you could possibly do. He's literally gotten. I won't say I feel bad for his family. He has gotten
right. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I
family.
don't feel bad for him.
He has gotten half his family killed. He has turned LA upside down. He has taken away a great pillar of society there in California, and he's never ever gonna sleep right. He's always gonna be thinking. It's just a matter of time. If they're not going to put him in. I don't think they're going to put him in general population.
They got to put him in PC.
He won't last it.
They got to put him in PC.
But if they did, even then, he's still going to be worried about getting touched.
He can't get touched, even in PC. You got to come out eventually.
Exactly. I don't think he's ever going to be right. He's gonna be. It's gonna be a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. There's plenty. There's plenty of rolling sixes in jail.
One of the guards will do it. You know how much power they got?
Right. Somebody will turn the side eye.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Kings.
Maybe his killing will be on camera too. We can all look at that.
The battle rapper Daylight, who grew up with Nipsey, said that this motherfucker need to get caught. He need to be dragged to a public square. We need to gather around. Everybody grab as many rocks as you can fucking carry and stone this motherfucker to death. And I agree. I fucking agree.
Yeah, Eric, plenty of people was talking about bringing public executions to L.A.
Just for him. Just for him. Salem witch trials shit.
And my thing is, like, when did he realize, like, man, I really fucked up? Why the hell? What was I thinking? Why did I kill? Of all the people, why the hell would I kill Nipsey?
I'm telling you, it's not him. He's a pawn. It's not him. I ain't saying it's the government. I don't think it's the government. I don't believe that theory shit that's on Twitter. But it's something. I don't know if it's another gang. I don't know if there's an actual guy that hired him as a hitman. It's something. And I pray that we find out and the person's actually responsible, not just this fucker, is actually stoned to death and brought to justice. Like, man, fuck all this. I just want Nipsey back. I don't even want nobody else to die. I just bring us Nipsey back. Just bring us fucking Nipsey back, man.
Yeah, man. I to be honest, I'm gonna tell you something. Yesterday, I was honestly hoping that shit was an April Fool's joke.
It happened on March 31st, Will.
I know. I'm just saying. I was like, maybe, man, this shit was gonna end up being an April
Happened on
Fool's joke or
March
something.
31st. It happened on March 31st.
He's like, maybe they're like further. Maybe they're actually like 6 hours ahead of us, and they're already. It's April Fool's somewhere.
Yo, y'all know I love fucking Marvel. I almost feel like, okay, maybe Nipsey disappeared when Thanos hit the. And we just wait for the next movie for him to come right the fuck back. That would be
Man,
lovely.
dude, like,
That would be lovely. Bring him back. Bring the
and
king back.
I'm still in disbelief that he's gone, dude. You know, of course, it hit me when I first heard it, but I'm still thinking, like, man, this man gotta be alive somewhere. Like, man,
Like on some
just don't.
Tupac
It's
shit,
just
right?
crazy because he's not one of those rappers that's all. He wasn't like 6'9" and always talking shit and this, that,
Right?
and the third to people. And,
Yeah.
you know, the people that you would think they're always talking shit to other rappers or other.
Those are the ones that are
other
fucking
cities and stuff.
alive.
Right. That's why I would never have thought it was him that got killed. It just doesn't make sense.
Man.
All right, man. Prayers to Laura London and her family. Prayers to Nipsey and his family. Prayers to the entire LA community. I am grateful, hopefully, that this is not another rival gang. I got a gut feeling that's not sitting well with me. I just know it's not Eric Holder. It's not him. It's not him.
I just know that I won't be going to LA anytime soon.
Yeah, you know, all of our Memphis listeners and constituents and friends and cancel that LA trip. Go to San Diego. Like for real.
Yeah,
go to Las Vegas, go to Florida, go to Utah. Shit, don't go to Utah, but yeah.
Yeah, get a refund on your plane ticket.
But it's not refundable. You know, I order from Cheap Flights. What's it? Cheapflights.com, whatever that shit called. Yeah, that shit not refundable. I did that once before too. That shit not refundable.
Shit.
You can't refund that. Yeah, you gotta go. Just stay in your hotel. You be alright. Just stay in your hotel. Just stay in your hotel. For real. Well,
but
Nipsey.
one last thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead and stream his music though.
Oh yeah,
because he owns he owns his masters.
Yeah, I've been listening nonstop all day.
Yeah, I keep bouncing between Victory Lap and was that the Marathon?
Yeah, those are the two I mainly be listening to as well as
Yeah, I've been listening to the Marathon. I've been listening to Blue Laces like nonstop. Like
I even downloaded Bullets Ain't Got No Name and TMC and I downloaded everything.
All that shit.
He got He got a joint with some dude Bino Ridex. No Pressure. I don't know what that is. I guess that's a joint mixtape. I don't know. It didn't matter. I downloaded everything. Whatever the fuck he made. And you know, he just released a single. And I think another single just came out today too, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, he was working on another project. The project, I don't think it was complete. But I did see the last interview that he did, I believe in LA. I believe it was the last one that he did. And I just watched that as normal. This was before the death. I just watched it because, like I said, I watch everything that this man put out. And also, Puma, what's up with them shoes? Let's get them shoes out.
Right.
Because I'm ready to buy. Marathon Store. You know, I don't know who's going to be running that. Nipsey was a smart businessman. I'm pretty sure he had a nice team around him. But get those inventory up because we ready to order online. I need a Crenshaw sweatsuit. Like seriously,
I honestly wanted to order something today, but then I was like, man, I feel like I'm not gonna get my shit for like months because they're gonna.
It's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute. I might as well spend it.
Yeah,
now.
they're
It's
probably
well
not
worth
even
it.
run. Yeah, the store probably closed down for a minute.
It's gonna be well worth it. Shit. Even if I don't get my shit, just take the money. I don't give a damn. Just man.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna write a book about him.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a book.
Somebody's gonna write a book about him. He did too much, and it's too much stuff that we don't know, even from his hustling days. that he didn't put in the music, just the details of it, is, and even the moves that he was making, you know, legal moves he was making nowadays. His independent grind, his independent route, you know, how he turned the music industry upside down. The fact he owned his own masters, like, yeah. Kings. We out.
We out.
We out, man.
Mogul and they know that. Logo on my flow mat. Courtside Chamberlain throwback match my Rolex. Everywhere I go flex. Valet park on some low shit. Whole lot of smoke in that Rory, that thing poke. Burning rubber. Wearing cameras, they was undercovers. Under pressure, made statements turned on their brothers. Never judge you, but the streets will never love you. I wonder what it come to in your brain for you to run to. One's the haters, handcuffers and maces. Call us dumb niggas cause our culture is contagious. Third generation South Central gangbangers that live long enough to see it change. Think it's time we make arrangements. Finally wiggle out that maze. Find me out in different places. And the spoke by the door, this the infiltration. Double back dressed in blue laces. Killed Dr. Sebi, he was teaching health. I fuck with Rick Ross cause he teaching wealth. Dropped out of school, I'ma teach myself. Made my first meal on my own, I don't need your help. All black, Tom Ford, it's a special evening. City council meeting, they got Hussle speaking. $1 billion project about to crack the semen. So one of our investments has become strategic. Summer 18, man, such a season. About to make my partners look like fucking genius. We was in the Regal, it was me and Steven. We done took a dream and turned it to a zenith. Anything I wanted, everything I needed. Gotta pace yourself, it's all about your baby. You can have it all, it's all about your race. I done took my name and carved it in the cement. I flash back on that shootout at the beach, 20 deep. You tried to squeeze, your gun jammed, and they released. Blood on your teeth. How many stains? I see 3. The bitch started to panic, so I made her switch seats. Driving there, police chopper here flying there. Really not too spooked, calmly ask me, am I dying now? All I know is keep you calm and collected. Cracking jokes like, nigga, now you gon' be finally respected. See your blood leaking, got my foot on this gas. Toss the 40, we pull up to Daniel Free and see crash. You know the alibi. They started shooting, we was standing by. Ain't see nothing but the flare from the talents fly. I wasn't there, I was passing by. Matter of fact, don't say shit, I'm just gonna drop you in the back and slide. That's your weed, all the cash is mine. I take them both to the spot, plus your phone till you back online.
Oh,